All right, we're here. I ran a test last night and still kind of forgot a little bit. All right, beautiful people. All right, we good. I think we live in all places. All right, y'all. Hold on. What I didn't get was my order. All right, y'all. You know what? I think I'm going to do another little change today too, um, because I think we have. Uh, it's definitely going to lengthen the reading. Not maybe not by time during the day, but so I've been kind of going back and forth through the Romance of the Red Star, which is just another name for a waspy, right? Just another name for a waspy by different by different translators, so to speak. They got a different copy of it, and it's really not that much that has changed, with the exception of it doesn't have all the books. But I'm thinking, y'all, if um if we should just go back to the lowest edition, simply because of like all the extra details that it give in the footnotes and stuff, and people who hadn't come through it the first time with us, they wouldn't hear any of that, right? So y'all let me know. I'm gonna say hey to everybody. Y'all was in Nazarean is scene 5:23 a.m. Top of the day, Grand Rise. We got Elijah in the house. Peace and blessings, Auntie. Love, light, and healing. Danette, greetings. Don, what's good? Says Audrey, hey girl, hey. You know, I still haven't figured out. And I know it's coming from the group. Let me see, show. It's a Facebook user. Good morning, everyone. Who is that? Is that Tickfoot again? I still haven't figured out how to fix that. So um, I know the comments come in from everywhere, which I think is cool. Jamil told me about that. So wherever I'm streaming from, all the comments will come to one place. But from the group, it just said if you're watching from the private Facebook group, it doesn't have your picture or your name. It just says Facebook user, like this one right here. So I'm gonna figure it out. If anybody know how to fix that, let me know. I'm sure it still has something to do with the privacy settings, but I still haven't figured it out. And I just closed everything up last night and went to sleep. Just me, many blessings, global purpose. Rita, good morning. Jamia, hey girl, hey. Hold on, Dana. Where else are you doing live? Because Facebook sometimes freezes halfway through. I'm at all my outlets now. We streaming live. So Facebook, the main channel. I'm sorry, YouTube, the main channel, and the backup channel is streaming right now. You know, so I'm thinking I think I may go ahead and do the replay at noon. I'm still trying to figure that out, or if we just gonna leave it at 6:15 across all the channels every day and let that be it. You know. But I don't know. But I know some people on the backup channel, they've gotten used to the noon time, knowing that's always when they're going to be there. So the abrupt change, I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. Your Roby Shalom says Shalom, Shalom. Read from Big Blue Vanette. That's what I'm thinking. Like the last few days, especially now, since we're reading the secret Nazarite scroll, the Holy Megillah, is more people in here, and I think it'll be like a good comparison. A whole lot more people will get exposed to it, just like this sing gospel of peace, right? You know, Hannah, Grand Rising. You agree, Big Blue? Is that yeah? I'm thinking that's what y'all saying. Trina, hey girl, hey. Hold on, Levon, Brian's joke. Keep the replay. Okay, all right, y'all. So that's what we're gonna do. All right. So also what we're gonna do, like I said, I've been really thinking about it the last couple days. So that's what I think we're gonna do, simply because of all the footnotes and the extra stuff that they pull out, which I thought was amazing, right? And a lot of people actually learn how to read read books the right way while we was going through it and going through the references. Like I had a lot of people emailing me, even that still read the Bible or whatever. They say they never even really knew how to do the chain references and follow along, And so now their study time is much more. It's better now that they know how to do that. Um, so not that we're stopping the Romance of the Red Star, because it is Owaspy. It just doesn't have all the extra books like shucks. The Book of Divinity and all that stuff. And I'm like, those are too good not to read through again. And there's a whole lot of wisdom in that. So, all right, we're gonna go back to reading the Big Blue version, the lowest version, right? Not saying get rid of this, it's still good, but comparison wise, it's still pretty much almost the same, just without the other books that they have in there. So it's been a great friend. We still staying on track, and we're still like literally on the same page in the same spot. And I'm glad we've actually been following along with the pages in Big Blue, right? So, and when people order it, you can still go to Amazon and get it for like $30. Unless you have Prime, then you get it for a few dollars cheaper or whatever. But let's go ahead and move along here, guys. So today it is March the 23rd, 2023, day 361 of year 4 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. And of the 4-year consecutive day count, it is day 1380. Today we're picking back up in Owaspy in the Book of Apollo, chapter. Oh, where's my page? I'm not too far. Page 100. And today we'll start chapter 5. All right, so we still just gonna do one chapter, and then we're gonna start today for the very first time the secret Nazarite scroll, also known as the Holy Megillah. All right, so also because I have both translations, I'm not sure how many people when they ordered theirs, they got the first one, but this one, the first version is, hold on, look at that. Yeah, the first version, well, I should say the second version has more translated, right? So it's an extra 24 chapters, which amounts to an extra 200 pages. So I'm thinking we're going to read from the most current one, right? It still has the same stuff the first one does, right? But this one has the extra pages from the scroll translated. So I'm going to sit this right here. And we're just going to get going today. Linda, hey, girl, hey. Mom. Just me, everybody. Owaspy for sure. Okay. Keep the replay. I'm in Louisiana now, and it's 5 a.m. here. But when I was in Cali, I would have to get up at 3 a.m. And I think that's where Jen is. Yes. Girl, you got a good memory. Jen is in California, right? Okay. So we'll leave the replay on the backup channel. But after the replay, I think I'm gonna still have to manually go in there and change the privacy settings. So it's not left up forever, because we could get in trouble for that. All right, beautiful people. So let's get started. Book of Apollo, chapter 5, page. Actually, I said page 100. It's actually page 101. And we're just going to read chapter 5 and start on over here in the secret scroll. All right. And if anybody was wondering, I think for the people who've been here already, if you go trying to find their website, I know in the beginning, they didn't remove it. They still have find our videos at YouTube and contact us about our live scene church services on Zoom. They're still doing the Zoom. They actually stopped it for a little bit. But they're doing them again. But the YouTube page and the website is no more at this point. They removed everything. Day Owen the current Yair, or the priest, the lead teacher in charge or whatever, he's like fully devoting all time to translating all of the rest of the scrolls that they have. And so you will only catch him on the Zooms. But they said they will get the website back up. They're not sure about the YouTube channel right now. It looks like the YouTube channel is just going away, right? So, but the website, they still don't even have a date when that's going to be back up either, right? All right, so let's get going. Linda, shalom, shalom. You got the updated one. Tabitha, hey girl, hey. Okay, all right, so let's go. Chapter 5, Book of Apollo, Son of Jehovah. And if you, just in case there's some new person here and don't know what Owaspy is, or when I say big blue, it's the big blue book of Owaspy. It is literally a history of the earth. It's all the stuff that's missing that the religious, most of the religious manuscripts and Bibles kind of they just kind of did away with, especially during the Constantine era, the Council of Nicaea. They stripped a lot of stuff for their different purposes and plans, which is why you can still find some bits and pieces from each religion found kind of together here in Owaspy, but it has the full story, and you get to see a clearer picture and how people have been divided through religion. So I would recommend, it doesn't matter what religion you come from, you probably should see the history of everything and how they turned everything into factions. And it's kind of crazy, but it's really enlightening, and it'll set you free in a lot of areas. All right, help you break free from a lot of religious dogma. All right, chapter 5. Think not, O man, the gods always deliver the nations of the earth in a day or by miracles. They go to the foundation of a matter. They make a man a servant to help deliver himself. They stir up the nations in rites and ceremonies first, then come after and appropriate the rites and ceremonies. And the women look on, receiving the spirit of the matter in their souls, the which entaileth on their offspring that which is desired by the gods. With the host of high heaven, unseen by mortals, the Lords stir up the whole world. In one generation, behold, a new race is born. Man is unfitted for dangerous war, and no longer the delight of Druhas hanging around. And the Druhas and the familiars turn from the peaceful earth to them stale and unprofitable and bloody entertainments, to find their own petty kingdoms broken down and gone. Be wise, O man, and ye angels of earth. Hear the voice of thy brother, God of 3 worlds. I will tell thee a great secret. These are the words of thy creator. Man and woman are procreators. Whom they beget are theirs, saith Jehovah. Not for a day, but forever. Take heed of thy offspring, O woman. Take heed, O man. Wilt thou be entailed with Juhals to pull thee down? Will thou choose offspring to glorify Jehovah? Have not thy people boasted, O earth? Have they not said, O the poor ancients? What of them? Will they turn away from the idols of Apollo and set up their own account? Can people hand down a name and models to live forever? So I found it Gal in the place Horrid had been. You know what? I know we read some of this yesterday, but that's also one of the small changes that the Romance of the Red Star does. Some of the scriptures are removed, or maybe more were added in here. I'm not sure of which one it is yet. But some of the chapters shift a bit, right? So some chapter, we could be in chapter 4, clearly in Romance of the Red Star. Some of this was in chapter 4. But I'm gonna just keep going. We're on verse 5. So I found it Gal in the place Horrid had been, extending over Japheth, Shem, and Ham. Yeah, we definitely read this yesterday. And the rest of the atmosphere in heaven I divided amongst my 10,000 lords and lordesses, whom I selected and ordained in the manner of the ancients. And the lords established themselves in kingdoms, both on earth and in heaven. And they inspired kings and queens to erect images in the temples, and the images were given a name signifying harmony, symmetry, and music, Apollo. and the names varied in many countries because of the languages of the people, but the signification was that these three entities comprised the all light, the creator Jehovah. And mortals were taught by the inspiration of the angels how to make images, for there were no corporeans sufficiently perfect for models. According to the perfection of the images, so were they reckoned favored by Jehovah. And the sign of Jehovah's approval was manifested in the time of the sacred dances, in the time of the sacred dance given by the Suis selected, which was, if the whirling dance caused many women to fall down by enchantment, then was Jehovah pleased. Hear me, O man, the enchantment of the woman. Hear me, O man, the enchantment of the woman was what the Lord's desired, for the impression of the soul of woman shapeth the unborn child. Wherefore they worshipped blindly before idols, not being sufficiently wise to understand how Jehovah was laying down the foundation for the coming race. O ye of little wisdom, compared with lords of heaven, with the lords of heaven. How ye are puffed up in judgment, not knowing the race whence ye sprang. Jehovah's gods and lords mold the inhabitants of the earth as clay is molded in a potter's hand. They set them up and show them the way, and say to them, Go, and mortals, go on a little while, like a young child that tottereth and falleth. And again the Lord set them up, and man in ingratitude forgetteth and denieth his God. The unseen angels lead man and woman together and say, Marry, and they wed and bring forth of the Lord. Then man inquireth, What meanest thou? Bring forth of the Lord. But his judgment is under a cloud. He flattereth himself that Jehovah created him, and then went away. And since then he hath been his own master. O man, what is thy folly? How hast thou found such cunning ways to put off thy creator? What profit more hast thou to put him away than to try and perceive him in all things? Why wilt thou sing, O man, who is in darkness and of the earth, but which is but a fraction of the great I am? Hopest thou not for wisdom, so that guardian angels may go away and rest? Why shall they stand over thee day and night to keep away familiars and fiddles and druhas? Who shall close their mouth against falsehood and thy lips against cursing thy creator? Hopest thou not, O man, that a wiser age will follow? When shall man when shall man learn harmony, symmetry, and music? Who will hire a musician that forever putteth his instrument out of tune? Why shall the gods applaud men or angels who live not attuned to the all highest? Show me one who is as good as he understandeth to be, that liveth as wisely as his goodness desireth he should. He will understand my words. I can come to him and inspire him with great wisdom. He will comprehend the love a God hath over mortals, and the patience of the toiling lords and angels. Hear me, O man, I will answer thee a great matter. The angels of heaven, who are good, labor for those beneath them. That is their work, day and night. Think not that they go away to idleness forever. To the Etherean, industry becometh rest. To those who hath attained to be gods, there is spontaneous growth forever. Remember this and be wise. To the atmospherian and to mortals, idleness of soul leadeth downward forever. Remember this also and be wise. Behold, the rose and the lily, they are perfect in their order. Being one with Jehovah, they painted not themselves. Let thy soul practice with thy Creator, and thou shalt become one with him, even his Son. Find the symmetry of flesh, the symmetry of the spirit, the harmony of music, and consider wisely thy behavior. And here, after it says the harmony of music, there is the reference letter C. So remember, um, the reference letters are at the end of the chapter of the current book. So that would be on page 109 at the bottom. And reference letter C says, music here refers to general expression or action. In other words, gracefulness in all things. 1882 edition. All right. And the last verse for this chapter, verse 19, back on page 102. The star of Jehovah is within thy soul. Feed it, O man, and thou, O angel of heaven, and it will grow to be a god. Rob it or starve it, and thou shalt remain nothing. It is weak and dim in the vein. It is bright and of great power in him who forgetteth himself in laboring for others. And that is the end of chapter 5. That's all we're going to read from this one today, beautiful people. First time, shalom, shalom. All right, y'all, here we go. The Holy Nazarite Scroll, also known as the Holy Megillah, the Nasarean Bible of the Essene Way. Right, so here you're going to find out if you are a lover of the Essene's Gospel of Peace, which I just learned about not too long ago. We literally just finished reading it yesterday. I'm a lover of it. I'm going to read it as long as I'm alive on this planet, right? But I realized that this just gets into a lot of a lot more deeper detail of what these scenes actually did and how they lived. And it makes so much more sense than anything that I've ever come across. That and a wasp is just it's more life-giving. Not that you can't find life in the Bible or whatever, because there are scriptures in there that will give you life that have been taken from original manuscripts and actually left in there. It's a lot of shenanigans surrounding the truth, but you got to read it enough to find out what those are and just adjust yourself to the truth that you learn every single day, right? Let's get it done. All right, so the first few pages in the table of contents, right? I'm a big reader. I mean, I'm a big advocate on always reading everything. Don't just skip through books and go to the one you like best. Like literally start at the beginning, read the preface, read the introduction, any comments, because it'll help you along the way. All right, so what at the beginning there is on page 3, there is a picture of Day, the current translator, and I'm not going to read all of that. It just says an invitation to donate to the fund that keeps this Nazarean Bible in print and widely circulated, right? So what it gives, it just gives their address and everything, where you can write to get a copy of this and all that good stuff, right? Let's say page 4, a brief note on symbols in the Holy Megillah. Dear reader of the Holy Megillah, the following symbol denotes the beginning of a new paragraph in instances when that would not otherwise be clear. And you know how you have the dashes? It's 3 dashes, but it's not the straight dashes. It's the little squiggly dashes. I forget what you call them. So it's 3 of them. Dash, squiggly dash, squiggly dash, squiggly dash. All right. Additional symbols in the Holy Megillah are defined in the body, text, or the footnotes. And so next we got the table of contents, which starts with a note to the reader, which we are going to read. I'm not going to go through all the table of contents again, but the first section of it is the Matana and Eternal Covenant. All right. So that is the, let's see. It's 14 books. And then the rest of the Holy Megillah is entitled the God Spell. What I will do, and that is actually chapter 104. And that's 104 chapters. I'm not going to read all those 104 chapters again from the Holy God Spell, but I will read these few from the Matana. And the first one you have first is the note to the reader. Then you have the Matana, the Nazarean Genesis. Then you have the book of Enoch, the book of Hanukkah, the matriarchs and the patriarchs, the book of Ishah, the precepts of Zion, the door of the wizard, the odes of Shlomo, which we know to be Solomon, the book of Noah, the proclamation of Isaiah, the book of Moses, the glory of kings, prophecy of Micah on the Magdalene, and the prophecy of Malachi. All right, y'all, so let's get it. Section 1 of the Holy Megillah, Matana, Nazarean Book of Genesis, chapter 1, page 1. And it starts off with a bolded title, Existence, Consciousness, and Bliss. Okay, so while I'm reading, when you see, and if you're following along in the version that you have, going through the sentence, we always stop and read the footnotes. We don't just ignore it because the footnotes fill us in on what's going on, right? Okay. Verse 1. Being, like being, being, being is. Without beginning, being is. Without ending, being is. Being is Yah. And that's the first footnote after Yah. And the first footnote is found at the bottom of the page. And it says 1. Yah is a Hebrew name for deity that means being or am. When we say Yah, we mean that which is, was, and will be. For further information, see expanded footnote 1, Nasarean names of deity, at the back of this book. And so when it tells us to go to the back of the book, we go. Let me see if I can find it right quick. And expanded footnotes on deity. Expanded footnotes. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're gonna read them. Oh man, hold on. It's like a whole dictionary. Woo. Let's do this. Because when we get to the expanded footnotes, we're going to actually read through all of it, right? So what I'm going to do, just for the sake of time today, I'm going to read this first portion and I'm going to read the one about Yah, right? The rest of them we're going to get to. All right. And it's on page 1102. And if you're following along, if you have the first version, just go to your table of contents or go all the way to the back with the expanded footnotes and you should see it. I'm not exactly sure which page it's on. But if y'all find the page, just type it in the comment section for everybody so they can see. All right. So page 1102, you have expanded footnotes, expanded footnote 1, Nazarean names of deity. In the Holy Megillah, we meet the following Nazarean names of deity: Yah, Omen, Jah, Jala, Jah, Jala, Jaja, Jade, Jana, Oholiab, Oholiba, Emmanuel, Emmanuela, Elohim, and it has a tetragrammaton Yahweh, YHWH. Then it has Yahweh spelled out, YAHWEH, and then it has Hashem, right? So a lot of us are really familiar with most of those. Here follows the meaning of each of the above Nazarene names of deity. And like I said, we're just going to read the one for Yah, then we're going to go back. Yah. Yah is a Hebrew name for deity. In Nazarene theology, Yah is without beginning. According to Nazarene theology, Yah is primal being. Yah is primal because Yah is original being with nothing before it. Also, according to Nazarene theology, Yah is unconditioned being. Yah is unconditioned because Yah is not the effect of or affected, conditioned by anything outside of itself. Not only was that originally true in that Yah predated anything that can be called conditioning, but it remains perpetually true. Yah is perpetually at cause and therefore transcended to effect. Also, according to Nazarene theology, Yah is undifferentiated being. The original state of the Godhead was undifferentiated being. In this context, by the term undifferentiated, we mean that there was no other. There was no me and you, no he and she, no we. There was just one being. It also implies a general neutral state of being, a state of being that is neither masculine nor feminine. Thus, Yah is neither he nor she, being undifferentiated being. The Hebrew word for the one being is Yah, which is interesting because at the end of yesterday's video, I talked a little bit about the word Echad. And as I was transitioning out of Christianity, that's one of the first words that I heard in my spirit, echad, right? So this is interesting. It implies, I'm gonna go back a little bit. It also implies a gender neutral state of being, a state of being that is neither masculine nor feminine. Thus, Yah is neither he nor she, being undifferentiated being. The Hebrew word for the one being is Yah. Yah means am, isness, being. Yah is existence or pure is. When we add the prefix, the prefix a eh to the word Yah, we get Iyah, which is I am, another name of Yah. Though we have declared that Yah Though we have declared that Yah, as undifferentiated being, is gender neutral, being neither he nor she, Yah is the source of both the masculine and feminine aspects. How is it possible that gender neutral, undifferentiated being can be the source of divine Father and divine Mother? Let us begin our answer by looking at the Hebrew letters that spell the word Yah. In Hebrew, Yah is spelled with two letters, Yod, which represents the masculine principle, and He, which represents the feminine principle. Yod, the first letter of the two, the first, hold on, I'm sorry. Yod, the first letter of the two letter in Hebrew word Yah, not only represents the masculine principle, but is associated with fire and assertiveness. The second letter of Yah, the letter He, not only represents the feminine principle, but is associated with water and receptivity. In the light of the awareness of the Hebrew spelling of Yah, we see that the term gender neutral, when it is used to describe Yah, should be understood to describe a condition of perfect gender balance. In other words, the neutrality of gender within Yah is due to the perfect balance of the masculine and feminine aspects, not the absence of them. Ooh. What was the website to purchase this? You can't order it online anymore. You have to call them or mail in the order form. If you want a private group, it is in there in the files. So go in there, get that. You can mail it with a check or a money order, or you can call them over the phone. A lot of us have ordered it over the phone. We think it's completely safe. They ain't up to no shenanigans. And I think you will get it a lot quicker if you call it and do it over the phone. But even if you mail it in, actually the very first one I got, I mailed in and I still had it in about 3 weeks max. You know, it take a couple days to get to them, and they're really on top of their orders. VP, man, shalom. All right, y'all. Let me get back to this, and then we're almost done with this definition of Yah. The masculine and feminine aspects within Yah are not, hold on. I think I skipped the sentence. Let me just go back. In other words, the neutrality of gender within Yah is due to the perfect balance of the masculine and feminine aspects, not the absence of them. The masculine and feminine aspects within Yah are not active but latent, only becoming manifest when emanated, exteriorized by Yah. Thus, Yah is never a he or she, but is always the source of both. The emanation of the masculine and feminine aspects by Yah resulted in the first Trinity, the Trinity that consists of Yah, the I am, Jah. Hold on. The emanation of the masculine and feminine aspects by Yah resulted in the first Trinity. That Trinity consisted of Yah, the I am, Jah, the divine Father, and Jah, the divine Mother. And that Trinity gave birth to the countless Trinities that comprise the manifest universe, each Trinity created in the image and likeness of the first Trinity. Now that makes sense when you explain the Trinity like that, because there was a whole, if you go back to some of my old videos, when I'm like, listen, this whole Trinity thing just, right? But now that I've gone through the Essene Gospel of Peace, it makes it so much more clear, because the Trinity that we're taught about in Christianity it's all chopped and screwed and lopsided because it looks like a 3 mil type thing going on, when that's not what we have here and what we can see, right? A true trinity is the combination of masculine and feminine, um, perfectly together, and in balance that produces more, right? Which would be a son or a daughter, right? So across, well, in Christianity and yeah, in Christianity, for the most part, everything is just, it's male dominant all the way through. They literally scrub the feminine aspect. I'm not just gonna say the women, but they scrub the imbalanced feminine aspect of creator away all through the Bible, right? Okay, so that's the end of that. So let's go back to page 1, chapter 1, and we was just at verse 4. So let's go down, verse 5. Yah is that which is. That which is truth. The word for truth is omen. Praise be to omen or truth. And it, reference number 2, literally it was the next one here. What page was that? Omen, 1102. Okay. On page, I'm sorry, 1103, omen. Omen is a Hebrew noun related to the adverb amen. A omen can mean faithfulness, but in this context, as the name of Yah means truth, the that which is. Beyond the various theories about God is the actual truth that truly is. That is omen, right? Okay. Go back to page 1, verse 9. Here follows the story of Yah. This is the story of Omen. This is the story of the divine way of Yah. The name of the divine way is Yahweh. It's the tetragrammaton, Yod He Wah He, or Yod He Vav He, right? And so Yahweh, Yod He Wah He is reference number 3. So flip to page 1104, and it's the last one at the bottom of the page. Ima, shalom, shalom. Okay. Yahweh. Yahweh is a 4-letter Hebrew word known as the tetragrammaton. The word tetragrammaton simply means 4-letter word, but it refers to a particular Hebrew 4-letter word of deity, Yahweh. The tetragrammaton consists of 4 Hebrew consonants. A consonant is a letter that is not a vowel. Any letter that is not a vowel is a consonant that, when vowels are added, form the most revered Hebrew name for deity, Yahweh, pronounced Yahweh. Although you will usually see the tetragrammaton rendered in English as YHWH, some translators render it with a V in the place of the W, Yahweh. If you are a student of esoteric texts, you have undoubtedly seen it rendered both ways, Yahweh and Yahweh. And if you study a little deeper, you will realize there is a whole teaching about this W in here. And this W sound actually makes a ooh sound. So what happened back in the day, because it should actually be pronounced Yahuwah, right? But back in the day, their printing plates, when they were actually printing this out, they didn't have U's. It's simple as that, right? And I don't know why they didn't just make O's, because it's a double O sound. And the V is actually, it has double U. Listen, it tells you the W in here, where when they pronounce it they, is still wrong, because the double U actually tells you what the W is. It's a double U, right? U instead of being V, it should be a U, because they didn't have O's, right? But the U makes the ooh sound. So you got to study just a little bit, just a little light surface research will actually uncover that, right? And the improper pronunciation, Yahweh, would be correctly rendered, and it would be Yahuwah, right? So I got a small little teaching on that. I'll share that with y'all. Somebody did one. We actually read through his stuff. I forget his name, but he did fossilized customs. Tabitha, hey girl, hey Avia, greetings. Okay, let's see. If you are a student of esoteric texts, you have undoubtedly seen it rendered both ways, Yahweh and Yahweh. Perhaps you wondered why. The answer is simple. The Hebrew letter Va makes a sound that is not exactly the same as any English letter, but is closest to a cross between V and W. If you put your two centermost top teeth 2 inches below your bottom lip inside your mouth, you say vowel. You will notice that the V comes out as a sort of mix between V and W. That mix is the actual sound of the Hebrew letter vowel. And that is why some translators render it as the English W and others render it as V. Most translators choose W, and so do we. The letters of the Tetragrammaton are Yod, and it's actually showing the Hebrew letters and putting what it's pronounced as or what it is in parentheses. The letters of the Tetragrammaton are Yod, Hey, he pronounced Hey, Va, he. Hold on. Yod, look, Yod, Hey, Va, Hey. I'm reading it, messing it up. Okay. Whereas in English, we read a word from left to right. In Hebrew, we read it from right to the left. An interesting thing happens when we stand the tetragrammaton up vertically rather than let it lie horizontally. It takes on the appearance of the human being. As you see in figure 1, you have the human head, shoulders, arms, waist, and hips and legs. While that in itself is interesting, the magic has just begun. Hold on, so let me show y'all this. And this on page 105, if you have the most updated version of this. If you don't, call and get you one. It has an extra 200 pages of translation in it. So this is, hold on, I'm looking at the wrong page. Okay, over here. This is the name Yahweh. Oh, hold on. This is named Yahweh, right? And they just turned it sideways or turned it vertically. And this is what they talk about, how it looks like a human being, right? Okay, so let me finish reading it. An interesting thing happens when we stand the tetragrammaton up vertically rather than let it lie horizontally. It takes on the appearance of the human being. As you see in figure 1, you have the human head, shoulders, arms, waist, and hips and legs. While that in itself is interesting, the magic has just begun. As we are about to reveal, the tetragrammaton, Yahweh, when placed vertical as shown in figure 1, reveals the greatest truths of creation, including the blueprint of creation. Examine figure 1, then carefully read the following paragraphs that explain the illustration. Okay, so I'm gonna show it to you one more time, then let's see if I can read it to you this way. Okay, hold on. Can you see it? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm gonna learn how to work the thing where I can pull it up on the screen. But for right now, you just gotta be. Let me see the page. Page 1. Okay. Forgive my bootleg operation. Okay. So over here with the Yod, this is Kether, and here is Father. And you have, okay, so Yod, Hey, Wah, Hey. And over here is Kether, Father, Mother, Son, Daughter. In the Hebrew, do they talk about the daughter anywhere? No, it's straight Father all the way across. Father and Son. And the Son, they don't even tell you, encompasses both son and daughter, right? There's always a complete balance with Creator. That is amazing. Okay, so let me explain to you this figure 1. Okay, figure 1. The first thing to notice in the illustration is that it consists of the 4 letters of the tetragrammaton, Yod, He, Vav, He. In Nazarean Kabbalah, the top portion of the letter Yod is called Kether, or it could be Kether. I'm going to just say Kether. In Hebrew, the word kether means crown, and here refers to the crown chakra, the spiritual. Hold on, I'm getting excited. In Hebrew, the word kether means crown, and here refers to the crown chakra, which is spiritual I am. Let me show that to you again. Kether. Oh, sorry, my bootleg operation. Right here, kether, right? Kether, crown, referring to the crown chakra, right? It's amazing. They scrub all the esoteric meaning away for the masses and just give you the dead books. Look. Okay. In Nazarean Kabbalah, the top portion of the letter Yod is called Kether. In Hebrew, the word Kether means crown, and here refers to the crown chakra, which is spiritual I am. It is the spark of pure spiritual being that is itself neither male nor female, but is the source of both the divine masculine and divine feminine. So the top portion of the letter, the little spark at the top of the Yod, is the spiritual spark we call I am, or Kether. This spark of I am is Yah. While the top portion of the letter in figure 1 symbolizes I am, which is neither masculine nor feminine, but is the source of both, notice that the bottom portion of the top letter symbolizes Divine Father. Also notice at the bottom portion of the top letter, the stem of that letter is in physical contact with the second letter. Let me show you. Hold on. Just notice the bottom portion of the top letter symbolizes. Also notice the bottom portion of the top letter stem. Also notice that the bottom portion of the top letter, the stem of that letter, is in physical contact with the second letter. Right here. See how it's touching? It's in direct contact with it, right? Okay. That second letter is Hey, pronounced Hey, and symbolizes the Divine Mother. In Nazarean Kabbalah, we learn that through the procreation interaction of the masculine principle, Divine Father Jah, the bottom portion of the top letter, and the feminine principle, Divine Mother, the second letter, the first son and first daughter are birthed. Let me read that again. Okay. In Nazarean Kabbalah, we learn that through the procreative interaction of the masculine principle, Divine Father Jah, the bottom portion of the top letter, and the feminine principle, Divine Mother, the second letter, the first son and first daughter are birthed. The first son, Jade, and the first daughter, Jannah, being emanated in the image and likeness of the first Trinity, Yah, Jah, and Jah-La. Then go and do likewise, giving birth to the children of the mother ovum, us. It has us in parentheses. We also are created in this image and likeness and will likewise multiply. It is important to note that though the I am, Kether, the top portion of the letter Yod, is neither masculine nor feminine, both Divine Father and Divine Mother are directly emanated from I am, and thus I am is the ultimate source of all creation, albeit the procreative act itself is performed by the masculine and feminine emanations, Divine Father Jah and Divine Mother Jah-La, and then Jade and Jannah. Moving from the top of the tetragrammaton down, the third letter is Va. In our illustration, please notice that Va symbolizes the Divine Son. The fourth letter, bottom letter of the illustration, another letter, Hey, pronounced Hey, is the Divine Daughter. Like they show us this tetragrammaton all the time, and it gives us the truth of the whole matter. wholly encompassed with creator and his creations, both masculine and feminine side, completely and perfectly balanced. And they teach us a lot about it. And then we go, the women feeling all dejected, feeling like we just hear the servants of men and stuff. And it's never that way. That is man's interpretation. And it's a screwed up and it's a flawed interpretation. And I just thank the Father for truth, right? Because you can feel truth when it registers deep down in your shanana, right? It cannot be denied, like truth. And it's like the eyes are open, the ears are open, and now we are willing and we are receptive to those things that we have heard, right? Okay. Moving from the top of the tetragrammaton down, the third letter is Va. In our illustration, please notice that Va symbolizes the divine Son. The fourth letter, bottom letter of the illustration, another letter He, pronounced He, is the divine daughter. In the tetragrammaton, Yahweh, we have been given the secret of creation. For the I am, Kether, that is neither male nor female, comes forth a divine masculine emanation and a divine feminine emanations. Those emanations are called divine father, Jah, and divine mother, Jala. Just like what we read in the Essene Gospel of Peace, but simply says the heavenly father and the earthly mother, right? From their creative embrace symbolize the stream of Yod in contact with the letter He. Creation is emanated. And then let me read Yahweh. Yahweh is the usual pronunciation of Yahweh, the tetragrammaton described above. When Nazareans use the term Yahweh, they generally are using it as a convenient term by which to address Jah and Elohim at the same time. In other words, it is a term by which we address or refer to both God and goddess, immanent and transcendent at the same time. So it's encompassing everything, creator, the gods, and the goddesses, right? Gods and goddesses is simply nothing more than what we shall be in time to come. As we grow and we develop in spirit, right? We start off here in physical forms, but as we grow, we develop literally into godship, Godhead, and we begin to rule and reign and create just as the great I am, the great source of light, right? Creator. In Owaspy, they refer to creator as Jehovah, right? So don't, when you hear it, if it's the first time hearing Owaspy, don't let the word Jehovah throw you off. If you like on the outs with Jehovah's Witnesses, it has nothing to do with any of that. Just stay long enough to hear truth and hear the entire matter out. You need that in a vertical necklace. I look, I got a whole different respect for the tetragrammaton now. Look, shoot, I'm no, let me stop. Look. Yahweh is the usual pronunciation, Yahweh, the tetragrammaton described above. When Nazareans use the term Yahweh, they generally are using it as a convenient term by which to address Jah and Elohim at the same time. In other words, it is a term by which we address or refer to both God and goddess, immanent and transcendent at the same time. In this sense, it is a term to address what the Megillah calls the first family. But the Megillah also makes it clear that the first family, it expands to include the all, being the source of the all. And what is and all is in capital letters, right? Let me finish reading first. The first family expands to include the all, being the source of the all. In that sense, this term refers to the creators and their creation, the all, and is rendered universal Yahweh, right? Um, so that isn't like direct alignment with what we learn from Owaspy. It just uses different words, right? But the all is actually a term that they refer to the creator as well. It's a lot of different names that they give to the creator, the source of existence, the all, Jehovah, creator, Ormaz meaning the greatest light entity, of which we are light entities that emanate from the greatest source of light, right? So this is good. Okay. So let's go back. Page 1. We were, look, verse 11. We got to go back to back. We're going to be doing a lot of this, just like we did going through OWASP, right? But everybody got to have the correct understanding. Okay. So 12. Hold on. Did I read 3 here? Yeah, we just read it. Okay. After Yahweh is 3. Read in the back, which we just did. Okay. Verse 12. The nature of the divine way is Yahweh. To feel the truth of this name, chant it in ancient vibration. Oh, this is getting so good. Okay. And after ancient vibration is reference number 4. Listen. Down at the bottom of the page, you will see reference number 4. And it says, Nasarean Hebrew is similar, but not exactly the same as biblical Hebrew. One difference is that the Nazareans believed that they had preserved certain significant pronunciations of key mystical words and sounds, including Yahweh. Indeed, they believed that the origin of some of their key words and sounds was angelic, coming from the cherubim of the heavenly realms. The Nazarene referred to those key pronunciations of various words and sounds as ancient vibration or transcendental vibration, believing them to have transcendental power. And a lot of us are familiar with this now, but you mostly find this type of teaching and level of scripture understanding outside of the church. And that completely baffles me. And they categorize it in esoteric, occult, and then the church teaches you to stay away from it, right? Thereby keeping you a spiritual dwarf all of your life, right? You never get these. Now I would call them, at first when I started learning about them, I'm like, yo, this is deep. But really, the more I learn, I realize this is literally, I would say, what's before pre-K. This is like infant type stuff that you're learning, infant that we should be learning in our infancy stages, right? And as we grow physically, our spirits should be growing in tandem, like simultaneously. And the spiritual side we should be getting as well. But a lot of times they completely cut us off from any kind of knowledge of our spirit, and they just feed the physical side of us, and we grow up lacking spiritually. And now we got all of what we got in the world now, right? Thank you, Dana. Dana. Yes, foundational. That's the word I was looking for. Basic foundational principles of life and the spirit. Listen. Let me just read it over. Nazarean Hebrew is similar, but not exactly the same as biblical Hebrew. One difference is that the Nazareans believed that they had preserved certain significant pronunciations of key mystical words and sounds, including Yahweh, and it has tetragrammaton saying Yahweh. Indeed, they believed that the origin of some of their key words and sounds was angelic, coming from the cherubim of heavenly realms. The Nazarene referred to those key pronunciations of various words and sounds as ancient vibration or transcendental vibration, believing them to have transcendental power. These words are considered ancient in that times predating our record history. Hold on, did I skip a word? I skipped the line, I think. These words are considered ancient in that they predate current usage and pronunciation of those same or similar words, stemming from ancient times, predating our recorded history, and often predating the creation of our planet. Thanks, son. All right. What'd you say? Yeah. Oh, this is StreamYard. Instead of using all my many devices, we streaming everywhere all at once. It's amazing. Pretty dope. Pretty dope. All right. Uncle JB, Grand Rising. Hold on, y'all. They should. Children should learn to meditate as toddlers. Remember that in Shalom, the ladies wore a triangle on the front of their dresses. Hold on, I missed something. Tablet said, I noticed that the triangle is used as an emblem worn around the neck of the high raised angels and the waspy. Right. Yep. Yes. What? Christianity keeps you from growing. You be stuck in the belly, haven't even grown to a child in knowledge. That is the truth.
Christianity is a religion based off fear.
Yeah, I agree with that.
You want to know something about black women that's funny to me? For a black woman, but each race have a different type
y'all haven't heard from Jeremiah in a minute. Go ahead.
But funny thing about black women is they are really good at math. You want to know something about NASA? All their flight trajectories, everything. Mm-hmm. You remember that movie
Hidden Figures?
Black people, black women did all of that. They're the ones that did all the search code, all of that stuff.
They were actually the computers. Like what we know as computers today, they literally called them. They were the computers. Yeah.
Like I was like,
that's good. Yeah, that's pretty dope. A lot of stuff we didn't know about our people, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Also, I meditated, and this time I didn't meditate in my head, saying, let's just have silence. I said, you know what? You can meditate. You gonna see what's wrong with me because there's that little voice in my head that's not me.
He's talking about his personal meditation time. Y'all could probably have him.
Yeah. Me meditating, that little voice that kind of has that negative outlook towards people and how they act and holds a lot of things against people. And I said, you know what? Where is this coming from?
You gain control over it.
Yeah.
Very good, son. Okay, let me finish this footnote. All right. These words are considered ancient in that they predate current usage and pronunciation of those same or similar words stemming from ancient times, predating our recorded history, and often predating the creation of our planet. But the practice of transcendental vibration does not limit itself to an attempt to preserve ancient pronunciations. Rather, it is the general practice of upgrading our language to a higher mystical vibration. For more information, see expanded footnote 2, Nazarean Hebrew and Transcendental Vibration at the back of this book. Right there. Ooh, that's a long footnote. If we read this, I got to do it. I can't skip it. I know we're going to come back to it, but by doing this, as we go through here, that's something I also read. By going through each of the footnotes, it's going to fill us in on a lot of stuff that we're going to start to encounter as it begins to explain some stuff. So let's do it. Okay. If you have the updated version, it's page 1107. And if you have the first version, I'm sure you can find the expanded notes section, footnote section by now. So just go to the expanded footnote 2, Nazarean Hebrew and Transcendental Vibration. Let us review and expand upon footnote number 4 from page 1 of Matanah, the Nazarean book of Genesis. That footnote reads as follows, quote, Nazarean Hebrew is similar, but not exactly the same as biblical Hebrew. One difference is that the Nazareans believed that they had preserved certain significant pronunciations of key mystical words and sounds, including Yahweh. Indeed, they believed that the origin of some of their key words and sounds was angelic, coming from the cherubim of heavenly realms. The Nazarean refers to those key pronunciations of various words and sounds as ancient vibration or transcendental vibration, believing them to have transcendental power. These words are considered ancient in that they predate current usage and pronunciation of those same or similar words stemming from ancient times, predating our recorded history, and often predating the creation of our planet. But the practice of transcendental vibration does not limit itself to an attempt to preserve ancient pronunciations. Rather, it is the general practice of upgrading our language to a higher mystical vibration, end quote. In regard to the first sentence of the above paragraph, there are several reasons that Nazarean Hebrew is similar, but not exactly the same as biblical Hebrew. First, let us consider why Nazarean Hebrew, and Biblical Hebrew are similar. The similarity is due to the facts that A, the ancient Nazareans lived among the Aaronite Jews, mainstream Judaism, and B, the Aaronite Jews often persecuted the far less numerous Nazareans and in the process stole and borrowed much from them, not only material possessions and land, but also intellectual wealth such as Nazarean language arts. And so, for those of y'all, the Aaronic priesthood and all of this stuff, you will realize they was on a fritz with the true faith, is what Owaspi calls it, of those who were truly walking with Creator. And this was within Israel itself. There's a whole split within Israel itself, right? You got the meat eaters, ones that slaughtering, doing the sacrifices, all coming from Aaron, the Aaronic priesthood and stuff. Like, this is mandatory. This is what we do. And even if they're not doing it today, which some still are in different parts of the world, carrying on the animal sacrifice, not realizing how they have gotten off of the path of true Creator, of true God, who they should be following, and they are living a lie. And even those here, where we don't, in Americas and some other places, don't actually perform the animal sacrifices, still believe in it, right? And then they take it on further to the human sacrifice of the master or the great teacher or Jesus Christ, Yeshua, YHWH, however you want to pronounce his name. But he was, and he seen, and there was no harming nor slaughtering animals, and neither was he a ultimate sacrifice for your sins, right? I know that sounds like blasphemy, but hear me out and think about the laws of life and the Creator, right? Let me just keep reading. All right, listen. Hold on. The similarity, hold on. First, let us consider why Nazarean Hebrew and Biblical Hebrew are similar. The similarity is due to the facts that A, the ancient Nazareans lived among the Aaronite Jews, mainstream Judaism, and B, the Aaronite Jews often persecuted the far less numerous Nazareans and in the process stole, borrowed much from them, not only material possessions and land, but also intellectual wealth such as Nazarean language arts. The borrowing of the borrowing of Nazarean language arts by mainstream Judaism was predicted in the following prophecy from the Bayir Shabbathayim, a section of Matanah, the Nazarean book of Genesis. Quote, O Abdiel, as you climbed the tree of life, you learned many tongues, even of the cherubim. Yea, you learned the Nazarean first letters. Behold, the fire letters are now given to the Nazareans and will later be taken by the children of Cain. End quote. Nene, shalom, sis. The Essene people most likely is the Nazarean people. Yes, they are. I would say so. They are. Because if we read and we compare, even though the names change, and we see that all through history, the names of people are constantly changing. But if you just do a little light research, some day you got to do some digging in some places, but you will see that the names are changing. Even Owaspi talks about that, the changes of the names of the different groups of people, and even how Israel was once called Faithists, but then how their name was changed to Israel once they went into captivity in Egypt, right? Owaspi goes into deep detail about Israel. Yes.
There's also a bit of wisdom before I leave. The one thing I've realized is not to be mad at other people no more, no matter what they do or who they are. But a simple
Look
fact,
like you're getting on the Essene pathway of life, son.
Yeah, I'm
right.
Peaceful.
Yeah. But do harm to no one.
Because one thing I've realized is to not like someone else or to have animosity towards someone else, to have animosity towards yourself. And you know, when you have animosity towards yourself, you go down that path of self-destruction.
Yeah, because we are literally all connected, right?
Yeah, we're literally all the same.
Yeah.
What you would call person, but we're literally the same person living out just different times of life. Literally. Yeah.
It's like your body. You got different members, but it is one
and
body.
And it's not just humans either. It's literally through everything, through every atom. It's literally just living its whole existence.
Yeah.
Through every atom.
We're
So
one body.
yeah, so to
We can
be
see the
mad at
multiple
someone,
parts of us everywhere, but we are still literally echad. We're one and one with Creator. All right, son, I love you.
lazy.
All right, y'all. Let's see. We're on page 1107 if you have the updated portion of the Nazarite scroll or the Holy Megillah. Okay. The above words are from the lips of the Lord Christ. He spoke those words when he gave the Nazarean calendar mysteries to the first Nazarean priest of this world, Abiel, the first child of Adam and Eve. In that account, which is found in the seventh candle of Beir Shebatayim, the reference to the Nazarean fire letters is a reference to a stylized form of what has come to be called biblical Hebrew letters. By stylized, I mean the style often employed by practitioners of Kabbalah in each Hebrew letter incorporates one or more sparks into its shape, giving the impression of fire, thus the term fire letters. The sparks are based on the Hebrew letter yod, which you can see resemble a tiny spark, and it shares a picture of what yod is, that tiny yod. If you look at the tetragrammaton, it's the first letter, right? On the left side, yod. Okay. The sparks are based on the Hebrew letter yod, which you can see resemble a tiny spark. The Lord told Abdiel that the Nazareans would be given fire letters, but that the children of Cain would later take, still borrow them, which is, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. I don't want to throw y'all off. Hold on. The Lord told Abdiel that the Nazareans would be given the fire letters, but that the children of Cain would later take, still borrow them. The reference to the children of Cain is a reference to the religion that came to be known as Canaanite. These Canaanites are not the Canaanites of the mainstream Bible. The words just sound similar in English and later split into the Jacobites, Canaanites who were a bit influenced by the Nazareans and later became known as Aaronites or mainstream Judaism, and Amalekites, those Canaanites who did not become Jacobites, became Amalekites. Let me read that again. We'll catch it the second time. Listen. The reference to the children of Cain is a reference to the religion that came to be known as Canaanite. Canaanite. These Canaanites are not the Canaanites of the mainstream Bible. The words just sound similar in English and later split into the Jacobites, Canaanites who were a bit influenced by the Nazareans and later became known as Aaronites or mainstream Judaism, and Amalekites, those Canaanites who did not become Jacobites, became Amalekites. So the primary reason for the great similarity in Nazarean Hebrew and biblical Hebrew is that the Aaronite or the mainstream Judaism religion adopted the Nazarean form of Hebrew. Y'all get that? Having considered the similarity of Nazarean Hebrew and biblical Hebrew, let us consider some key differences. Immediately after he prophesied that the fire letters would be given to the Nazareans and later taken by the children of Cain, the Lord declared, quote, "But only those given the fire letters will receive also the comprehension of their mysteries and the fruit of their use in meditation." Let me read that again. Quote, "But only those given the fire letters will receive also the comprehension of their mysteries and the fruit of their use in meditation." End quote. Thus, even though mainstream Judaism adopted the basic form of ancient Nazarean Hebrew, they did not receive the keys to the mysteries of the ancient fire letters. In other words, there are mysteries related to the sacred fire letters that are transcendent to the mere. Start the whole sentence over. I'm sorry. In other words, there are mysteries related to the sacred fire letters that are transcendent to the mere form. You cannot forcibly take the mysteries. They are received by initiates who progressively comprehend the mysteries by practicing the Nazarean teachings. And how many of us know that to be true, right? People can be reading like the same Bible, right? We'll just take Christianity. You can have people reading the same Bible, reading the same passage, but you actually have somebody actually begin to try and learn and embody the principles. And then their whole understanding of scripture takes on a whole nother form that the other person, it seemed like they got scales over their eyes and they can't comprehend it, right? They just can't understand what's being said, because that only comes like through, uh, we can call it through, by prayer and fasting or meditation, are the deeper secrets to the mysteries revealed. And it's not revealed by man unless the revelation comes from the spiritual realm and given to man, then he can share it. But most of the time, all that revelation comes directly from the spiritual realm, right? And when you don't have that, when you're missing pieces, the key ingredient in your spiritual life is dead, which is why most of the churches around the world are completely dead, right? They are void of the key ingredient. Listen, hold on. Let me just go back up here. What time is it? 7:30. Oh, snap. Hold on. Let me see. I can go today, Thursday. I can literally go to 8 today. So if y'all got to go to work, though, go ahead and go to work. Don't get in trouble. Oh, I can't say you can come back and watch it later, but if you can whistle while you work, if you can keep it in your ear while you work, whatever, just don't get in trouble, right? But if you got it, you can go back and read it later, unless you're part of the private group. If you're not a part of the private group, join the private group. Somebody here who has a link to the private group, drop it in there wherever you at. Depending on where you at will determine if you'll be able to see the link or not. But you got to answer the questions. Don't just ask to join the group without answering the questions, especially if we don't know you, like, and we haven't seen you like commenting or anything. We're not going to let you in the group. You have to answer the question and you have to agree to the community rules, right? Okay. All right. Trina said, oh, I can just stay home today. You can stay home. Y'all can stay home today if you the boss man, boss lady, whatever. But if y'all working for something else and you ain't got no PTO or whatever, listen, this is a part of wisdom and growing as well in faith, right? We can't be foolish. I know Trina was joking, but all right, let me keep reading. All right. Hold on. Thus, even though mainstream Judaism adopted the basic form of the ancient Nazarean Hebrew, they did not receive the keys to the mysteries of the ancient fire letters. In other words, there are mysteries related to the sacred fire letters that are transcended to the mere form. You cannot forcibly take the mysteries. They are received by initiates who progressively comprehend the mysteries by practicing the Nazarean teachings. By extension, the exact principle given by the Lord in regard to the Nazarean fire letters holds true not only in regard to those letters, but also to all of what we call Nazarean Hebrew and biblical Hebrew, including grammatical syntax. In other words, Nazarean language arts, the best term for what is generally referred to as Nazarean Hebrew, both in written and spoken, are part of the Nazarean religious mysteries and related spiritual practices, and as such, are under the auspice of the Nazarean Mystery School. The very nature of a spiritual mystery school is that the teachings and practices are dispensed in a gradient fashion to initiates who advance from one level to the next in ladder like ascension as they gain and demonstrate proficiency, which is called adeptship, right? OWASP talks a lot about adeptship, right? You have to read these in tandem. Like if you don't have an OWASP, get an OWASP, right? Trina, I know you was kidding, girl. I know. Hold on. Yep, Nazarene is saying, right? Y'all know the deal. Y'all been here for a while, right? Don't get in trouble, because then you would not be being a good steward. Like all of this plays in like your daily work in life and everything. Like seriously, you shouldn't be around all day just studying and doing all this, especially if you have a family to take care of, if you have physical things you need to take care of, and that's sometimes when we get all chopped and screwed on stuff, especially in church. Not that all churches do it, but sometimes they do. And I even saw that same trend of misfitness. We'll call it misfitness. I'm always making up words. We see that same trend a lot of times, not in every place, but in a lot of the uh the Hebrew camps and stuff. Anybody coming out of Christianity, Black Power, whatever, they kind of do some of the same stuff. Now they go from one end of the spectrum all the way to the other end of the spectrum, and you're still imbalanced. And you think you're supposed to sit and pour over the scriptures all day, but you have like a whole family that you need to care for. You're only going to go so far if you're neglecting the physical side of your life. Everything must grow in tandem. It should be a balance. Now, some of us may be still juggling and trying to balance stuff. Me, y'all know about my shenanigans and my time schedule with all the stuff I got. We got a business, I got a whole family and a husband. But my family consists of my husband and children. But y'all get what I'm saying, right? And plus the time that I set aside, that I devote, which is the tithe of my life by my personal time with Creator, and then what I said I was going to do for him this time right here, like all of this stuff, we got to find the perfect balance. And once it starts getting out of balance, things start happening. Then you have to consider your ways. Why am I getting sick? Right? You're probably violating the law of sleep. You're probably violating the law of eating too, and what you should be putting in your body. Like all of these things we have to consider, but we have to learn how to balance them all, right? And it's going to be a struggle. Don't try and do everything at once. Just focus on one thing, possibly two if you can handle it. But get one thing down. And once you got it and you do it just like you breathe, then you can add another thing, right? And your days should get progressively better. You should get spiritually better as the days progress. This is a life of constant progression, not just physically, but also spiritually. And it should happen simultaneously on a daily basis, right? Okay. The very nature of a spiritual mystery school is that the teachings and practices are dispensed in a gradient fashion to initiates who advance from one level to the next in a ladder-like ascension as they gain and demonstrate proficiency, adeptship, and prove loyal and trustworthy. This being the case, very little of Nazarean Hebrew is revealed by Nazareans, ancient or modern, outside of the context of our mystery school lessons. Nevertheless, we can and now will briefly comment on those mysteries touched upon in the verses quoted above and those alluded to in footnote 4 on the first page of my Tanakh, the Nazarean book of Genesis. Herein, we will briefly discuss the following. Number 1, that the origin of many Nazarean keywords, especially religious nomenclature and mantras, is angelic and from the heavens. Number 2, that the Nazareans preserve the original pronunciation and meanings of those words, and that the Nazareans preserve the original pronunciations and meanings of those words and non word sounds, even when the general culture, including but not limited to the above described mainstream Judaism, adopts and changes the pronunciation or meanings. 3, that these words and sounds of heavenly origin are words of power that have transcendental significance and impart to those empowered to use them a great variety of spiritual blessings. Let me read it over. 3, that these words and sounds of heavenly origin are words of power that have transcendental significance and impart to those empowered to use them a great variety of spiritual blessings, including revelatory emanations, profound communion with Yahweh, access to higher energies and ethereal realities, fellowship with heavenly beings, increased capabilities in things of true import, and the ecstasy of bliss consciousness. Number 4, that those not authorized to use Nazarene words of power within the context of terms set forth in the Holy Megillah will not be harmed by their use, but will not receive the transcendental empowerments that those authorized to use the words of power will receive. Right? So you will have different people trying to teach, and some um like the example I gave before, some people can be reading the same passage of stuff. Like if you haven't spiritually progressed to that level where you've been given the authorization, not by man, because they didn't gave you a title, pastor, prophet, priest, teacher, evangelist, whatsoever, big dog, what's other some names they give you in the Hebrew side, anything, not what they give you and how they, yes, you ready, go, you were the great teacher, not them, right? Because we can tell if man just ordained you or anointed you, because you're gonna sound dead. But if heaven authorizes you and lets you pass, you can move up the levels and you can teach from the level. Remember when we was reading in the Legends of the Jews when they went to get Joseph out of the dungeon to bring him before Pharaoh? It was like, listen, because we need somebody that can understand all this. Well, we know somebody, right? And the power of the holy gods is upon him. Same thing they said about Daniel, right? They said, well, where is he go get him? Well, there was a previous Pharaoh, but he been there since the last Pharaoh. New Pharaoh ain't know nothing about him. Went and got him. And so when he walked in, of course, Pharaoh's court, everybody there from all over the world. At that point, it was like 70 languages, according to Legends of the Jews. And in order to talk to Pharaoh, Pharaoh's throne was 70 feet high in the air, right? So in order to even get an audience with Pharaoh, you had to not only just like have a word from the Lord, but you literally had to be skilled in like everything across the board, because each stair that led up to his throne represented a different nation, and each different nation had a language that they spoke. And depending on how learned you were and where you came from will determine the stair you get to stand on to communicate your message to the Pharaoh, right? If you only knew two languages, you could ascend two stairs, right? If you knew four languages, you could go to the fourth stair, right? But not just the languages, but everything that encompassed that nation, right? So not too many people come before the face of Pharaoh, right? So when they seen Joseph come in, they're, everybody having a conversation around with one another. Yeah. Oh, this dude, so he go in and it's like, look, bro, go ahead, do your thing. Like the Lord is going to be with you from this point. And the night before, all of them, like if you read in the Legends of the Jews, which is in the file section in the private group, you can go pull it and read it, or you can Google it online. It's there. You can Google it online, or listen to it on YouTube. He got in there. He stood on the first one. Everybody, matter of fact, not even the first stair, like the lowest part where you begin to ascend the first step. That's what it had the Hebrews at. Like nobody thought that he'd even be able to lift a leg. So he was just there on the bottom, like he's a dog. He's garbage. He can't even take the first step. When he took the first step, I'm like, what he doing? What the boy doing? What did he say? He said, he must have heard somebody talking. He been eavesdropping or something. Who else down there in jail? He done learned something from them these few years he done been down there, right? So at first they thought it was a fluke. As let me tell you, Joseph, he didn't like go to stair one, blah, 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 blah. Did I pass? He didn't do that. There was a steady stride, and he spoke confidently, and he walked them stairs like that throne was his. And every step he took, he switched his language and got he got the attention of the entire room, even made Pharaoh stand up off his seat on his throne, because even in order to be Pharaoh, you also had to understand that's about all the nations and all the languages, because that's a part of your training to becoming Pharaoh. Like you're literally ruling the world, and you have to understand the world, the nations that are under you. Joseph didn't break a step. His stride was smooth, and every lift of his foot, he changed his language. Everybody in Pharaoh's court was standing up like, what? Oh my God. And he had everybody's attention. Like everybody was about to hear what thus saith the Lord, right? Because this in itself was a miracle. A Hebrew, right? He got up there and then he was face to face with the king. This is what the Lord says, right? So it's that same type of thing. People who are faking the funk that have not been authorized will not be allowed to pass go. Go back, right? And there is no human person that's going to stop you. The spirit will stop you, because ain't no fooling the spirit. There's no fooling your spiritual teachers, your unseen teachers who have been there with you before you even pass through the loins of your father and your mother, right? There is no getting past them, right? You can fool us, you're not going to fool them. And we can tell that you haven't fooled them by what we see you put on display here in front of us in this realm. There is no getting around that. Listen. 4, on page 1108, the expanded footnotes, that those not authorized to use the Nazarean words of power within the context of the terms set forth in the Holy Megillah will not be harmed by their use, but will not receive the transcendental empowerments that those authorized to use the words of power will receive. Number 5, that all of the above portion of this expanded footnote 2 relates to transcendental vibration, which is also called ancient vibration. Number 6, that transcendental vibration is playful, happy, language, and sound art, itself a part of the overall Nazarean science of harmonious vibration. Number 7, that the only way you can know more about the matters discussed in this expanded footnote 2 is to become an initiate of the authentic and authorized Nasarean Mystery School, that is the agency responsible for the publication of this first edition of Holy Megillah, the Nazarean Bible of the Essene Way. Let me see, hold on. That the only way you can know more about the matters discussed in this expanded footnote 2 is to become an initiate of the authentic and authorized Nazarean Mystery School, that is the agency responsible for the publication of this first edition of the Holy Megillah, the Nazarean Bible of the Essene Way. I don't know that I 100% agree with that, because even up to this point, as you're growing, your spiritual teachers will lead you in the way you need to go. And you don't necessarily need to join a man's thing here. You don't necessarily have to go join a group, although you can, and it kind of may be required for a period of time, just depending on what level of growth you are at, right? But some people will join factions, whatever, and that's okay. But don't allow them to pigeonhole you and put you in bondage where you are not free to grow. And now they begin to bind you by their rules and their specifications for being a part of their thing. Then it's getting off, right? Because Creator has created all of us free. We should get to choose, right? And whatever we choose, we will experience the repercussions or the benefits and the glories that come with our choices, right? That's what the Creator allows us. He allows us freedom, right? So even though they said you can join, they're not pushing you to join, but they may entice you to join by releasing certain things at different levels of their membership. And at some point, we may have to bow out and allow Creator. And once we get all that we can get from what they're willing to release to us while we grow spiritually, if Creator's not leading us to go ahead and join that because I need you to get this or whatever, then we'll gracefully bow out. Thank you for the time. I love y'all. I'll see you on passing, but I'm going to continue growing and let Creator lead you, right? Derek, shalom. Could the house of Aaron stole the name Yahweh and use it to go to war with the Canaanites? So the power of Yahweh got lost in its true meaning. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Definitely it got lost in translation throughout the years, right? Okay. All right. In regard to number 1 above, know this: the authentic and authorized Nazarean Mystery School on this planet is an outlet for the teachings of the Universal Nazarean Mystery School that spans the heavens and was founded by the Lord Christ and Lady Christ. Thus, since the origin of the Nazarean Mystery School on this planet, certainly otherworldly, heavenly words and sounds have been imparted to us by the Lord and Lady and their heavenly cherubim. I'm going to have to read that again. That sounded like a bunch of gobbledygook. Hold on. All right. Thus, since the origin of the Nazarean Mystery School on this planet, certain otherworldly, heavenly words and sounds have been imparted to us by the Lord and Lady and their heavenly cherubim. In regard to number 2 above, let it be known that our Nazarean Mystery School, The authentic and authorized one has existed without interruption since its inception in the Garden of Eden. Though the above ground or revealed arm of our church is often persecuted to the point of near extinction or is in a prolonged period of hiding to prevent that extinction, the underground or hidden arm of our church, which is the esoteric core of our mystery school, has always continued to exist and managed to preserve our ancient scrolls and words of power. Some of those words made their way into mainstream Hebrew and then had their meanings and or pronunciations altered to various degrees. But the original versions have been preserved within our mystery school. And definitely some of these words of power have made their way from the underground or the hidden arm, right? Because you will see them. I got a whole bunch of books. Remember the Gallery of Magic? They have quite a few books talking about the words of power, and there are a few other authors. Like some of the things, just because of my spiritual growth, I notice even when I just look at some of them, right? I can feel it. And I'm like, I must be activated in this level in the spirit, because some people read it and it's like, it's sitting there, it's like, oh yeah, whatever. But when I look at it, I can literally feel the vibrations coming from the page. In my prayer time, I can say it and things that happen. I'm like, yo, like, is this not happening to y'all? But now I understand what's happened. There are certain levels that I've been authorized in the spirit. Even though I don't talk about it, I act, sometimes I act a fool up here, right? We laugh and joke and stuff. But like, this is serious business. Like if you know, you know, like if you really have like a prayer life and you meditate, that is you literally can feel the power of the words, and when you speak them, they carry weight and substance and things happen. All right, so have been preserved within our mystery school. Hold on, y'all. I'm gonna need to get me a what you call it, like I did the first time I was going through what you call it, so I don't lose my spot. Okay. Okay, let me just start at the beginning of this paragraph, the second paragraph on page 1109. The various spiritual blessings described in number 3 above typically stem from the heavenly vibrations induced by the proper use of the words and sounds of power, while number 4 makes clear that, as stated in the Holy Megillah, the efficacy of the words and sounds of power is linked to their authorized use within the context of our mystery school, that is not due to any desire to exclude or prevent others from the blessing. Rather, as described in the Holy Megillah, because these words and sounds of power are linked to powerful energies and spiritual realities, their use could actually harm those who are not properly prepared to use them. Thus, you see people in some of their videos on YouTube talking about going through some of the Gallery of Magic books and stuff. I'm like, bruh, like y'all really just going to see if y'all can get something. Like you're not really like truly seeking out the truth in your life. Like that's the determining factor with people that get the different outcomes. Stay away from it. I had an attack. Satan attacked me. Yep. You know what? Because you know what just happened? You know the whole scenario with the 7 sons of Sceva? That same thing just happened to you. You're not authorized at this point. Paul, I know. Jesus, I know. But who are you? We about to have some fun with you. Stripped them boys of all their clothes, ran out of there naked, hollering and screaming, and lost their mind. Don't be playing around. Don't say I ain't warned you. Hold on. Rather, as described in the Holy Megillah, because these words and sounds of power are linked to powerful energies and spiritual realities, their use could actually harm those who are not properly prepared to use them. Thus, the Lord and Lady arrange that the words and sounds will only have any potency when used by those authorized to do so within the context of our mystery school to prevent harm to the unprepared. How can a good thing like light harm the unprepared? Well, the very same light that I might experience as nourishing and joyous might burn to a crisp an entity that is used to living in dark shadows. And we see that, right? We see that through a WASP, right? Those false gods and false lords who's used to the darkness and stuff. But when the brothers and sisters of light come, not to cast them and put them in hell, but literally to restore the ones who are on their way there, they can't stand the light, right? Remember, I forgot the name, but anyway, there's multiple stories in there about that. They literally, not that they have to dim the light that they bring out, but they literally, sometimes they got to cover them, cover their eyes or whatever, because the light, the truth literally blazes through all the darkness, and they're unprepared to take such a high dosage of that radiation of complete pure light that it'll destroy them quickly, right? Just like fire can heal and it also can consume, you can control it and make something beautiful, or you can let it just go uncontrolled and it'll destroy. It's the same thing with spiritual light, right? If you're not prepared to receive some of the higher revelations or the deeper revelations, it could literally destroy you. Some people lose their mind because you have not been properly prepared for it. You're trying to pour new wines into old wine skins and they burst, right? The principle remains true. Shayla, what's going on? Cousin, hey girl, hey. All right, page 109, expanded footnotes in the Holy Megillah. Listen, how can a good thing like light harm the unprepared? Well, the very same light that I might experience as nourishing and joyous might burn to a crisp an entity that is used to living in dark shadows. And the blazing light of the Lord and Lady that is experienced by some as pure love is experienced by others as a fire too hot to face. Wherefore, certain precautions have been taken by the Lord and Lady as described in the Holy Megillah. As stated in number 5 above, this entire expanded footnote 2 has to deal with what Nazareans call ancient vibration or transcendental vibration. It is called ancient. Oh man. It is called ancient because it is a science. I'm gonna just finish reading this paragraph, y'all. It's 8 o'clock. Dang. It is called ancient because it is a science and practice that predates the birth of this planet. It is a science and practice concerned with vibration because all things manifest as, feed from, affect, are affected by, and cause vibrations. It is called transcendental vibration because some vibrations are much more harmonious and helpful than other vibrations. And the word transcendental implies higher, transcendent, joyous, and helpful vibrations. Transcendental vibrations are those vibrations that harmonize with spiritual and physical well being and lead to ascension. Let me read that sentence again. Transcendental vibrations are those vibrations that are harmonious with spiritual and physical well-being and lead to ascension, right? Or I speak, I know y'all gonna hear me say or I speak back and forth because I want y'all to see. I don't want y'all to miss out on truth that has been hidden in a lot of other places that we have not been aware of, right? And don't let anybody come tell you about what something is until you first go investigate the matter yourself, right? Because you'll hear some people, they did videos about Owaspi and all this and who wrote it and stuff. And a white man wrote that. Well, a white man wrote the Bible too. What? When are we going to get over that? Right? Just verify the information. Learn how to find truth wherever it may be lie hidden, right? Because it can become your jewels. It could be the very thing you need to transform your life. Don't let the package that it comes in throw you off, right? Or let somebody else's opinion throw you off of the path of light that may be good for you, because just like what we was just talking about, they may not even be authorized on that level, but you are fully prepared for it. And if you're listening to them and not being led by Creator, you're going to miss all the goodness and the wholeness that's going to get you to the next level, because you let gatekeepers keep you away from truth by not being as diligent as you could be, by verifying everything. Don't just let anybody say anything to you. Verify all things. I don't care if they're a great teacher or if they label themselves an apostle. I don't care. Check them out. Just because they can put words together and put on a good show and know how to put the word, and thus saith the Lord, and I'm a man of God, and you better not put your mouth on me. I'm like, shut up, dummy. You're taking it all out of context anyway. I get thrown out of places. I'll be respectful as long as I can. And I get up and leave before I have to. I ain't gonna do, I'm just gonna like, you know what? All right, I'm out. Like SpongeBob. I can't contain the foolishness no more. Look, I know some people might take offense at that. I've lost some people. People are unsubscribed left and right. But hey, it is what it is. If you've been here this long, you know what it's about. You know how I am. I'm sick of the shenanigans and the tomfoolery. I just want to grow. Give me the truth. Let me choose based on the level I am, what I can take and what I can't. All right. But keep moving forward. All right, hold on. We got to end this. Hold on. Let me finish this paragraph and we're gonna pause. Let's see. Hold on. It is a science and practice concerned with vibration because all things manifest as, feed from, affect, are affected by, and cause vibrations. It is called transcendental vibration because some vibrations are much more harmonious and helpful than other vibrations, and the word transcendental implies higher, transcendent, joyous, and helpful vibrations. Transcendental vibrations are those vibrations that are harmonious with spiritual and physical well being and lead to ascension. Because not only words and sounds relate to vibration, it is pointed out in number 6 above that this word and sound art is only a part of the overall Nasarean science of harmonious vibration. Though but a part of an overall lifestyle of harmonious vibration, the word and sound art called transcendental vibration is a profoundly significant part of Nazarean spiritual practice. And that, my beautiful people, is where we're gonna pause at today. I'm gonna need to get me some more little what you call it, because we're gonna be flipping back and forth, y'all. That's how we get the full understanding, the context of everything instead of reading straight through. We gotta, every time there's a footnote, we gotta stop, check out the footnote, read it in its entirety for the most part, right? But even though we read this through here in expanded footnotes, as we get through reading the entire text of everything, we also going to come back and we're going to read this again and read through the expanded footnotes as a whole, like it was another book, right? All right, y'all. So that's it for today. I gotta mark this with something. I do with my let me just stick a pencil in here for now. Hold on. That's what I like about OWASP. You know how you have these little bookmarks, the little ribbon bookmarks in here? OWASP has 2, right? So for your current reading, put a what you call it, the bookmark there. Hold on. And then it has a second one for you to stick it in a reference part. Hold on. Let's do this. Let's do this right here for this one. Because when we come back, we're going to start back here tomorrow and finish reading the footnote section. Then we're going to go back to the actual text of this, which we didn't get past. We're still in the first chapter at verse 13. And it's 54 verses in chapter 1. And there's a few more footnotes in here. So, let's see, 5, 6, 6 footnotes in here. No, I'm sorry, 7. I missed a 7, but I see it at the bottom. Okay, so 7 footnotes in here, and then we'll be done with this. So hopefully we'll get to finish chapter 1 of the Secret Nazarite Scroll, the Holy Megillah, tomorrow. But like I said, to make sure we're staying and make sure we're understanding everything as we go, we need to get the deeper understanding as we go about the different words that they set out. That's how you properly read through different texts. That's why the footnotes are there. And if people read the footnote, matter of fact, if they read some of the footnotes in the Holy Bible, their whole outlook would be it'd be amazing, because it's going to introduce to you that there is more than one God in the Bible. The footnotes encompass all of this, but nobody reads through the chain references, call them the precepts, whatever. Most people, they just ignore it. They see them, they know they're there, but what are we supposed to do with that? Okay. And they just keep reading and they form their own theory about what the book is about, when the footnotes are there to help make everything clear, so you don't chop and screw things up. You wouldn't have all the mistranslations and all of this stuff. Matter of fact, a lot of stuff in the footnotes in the Holy Bible confirms what OWASP tells you is in there and how it took it out of context. And there's the bigger picture and the more expanded stories of the things in there that people gun ho for, and you missing the mark, buddy. That is not what that means. All right, so bear with us as we go through it. I know some people just want to like just read the text. We can't do that. We would not be good students if we did that. We absolutely have to read through the footnotes, and I'm so thankful that my mom told me how to do that with the Thompson Chain Study Bible and the Hebrew Greek. Yes, anybody? Has anybody seen the new moon for this moon cycle? I didn't see it last night. Anybody? Anybody see it? I'm gonna check it. Matter of fact, I'll check it before we I'll check my backup, see if anybody's seen it. Hold on. See if anybody posted it or called it from anywhere. References. You know what? I could. No, I ain't. That's gonna be too much. That's gonna be too much, and I'll be doing this all day. I think I'm gonna just put when I put what we read for today, and I make it standard, including all numbered. I'll put all numbered and lettered footnotes. Follow them all instead of writing out the page for the footnotes, because if you got the first version and some people got the second version, it's on different pages. So I'm gonna just say follow all the numbered footnotes along in the text. All right, y'all. So it is Thursday, March the 23rd, 2023, day 361 of year 4 of reading through books, laws, and prophets. And of the 4-year consecutive day count, day 1380. Today we read chapter 5 in the book of Apollo in Big Blue, official name called Owaspy. And then here in the secret Nazarite scroll, which is also called the Holy Bible, the Nasarean Bible of the Essene Way, we read chapter 1, which is on page 1, all the way to the end of verse 13. So let's see, 1 verses 1 to 13. Okay, so if we finish the fourth footnote tomorrow, which is like a whole nother book in itself, and the back and expanded footnotes, we'll come back and we can get back into the text of this. But we're going to be diligent. We're going to be good students, right? Good stewards of what we have before us. Will the replay be posted in the private group? If y'all part of the private group, Derek, you were there, right? You can see it, but for the backup channel, yes, it'll play at noon, and then it's gonna go private, right? So if you've been here long, I didn't said it a whole bunch of times, right? So if people start catching on, if people ask a question, if y'all see them ask it, somebody just be kind and let them know, because they could be coming in for the first time or had to jump in and out because they had to go to work and they missed certain things. Just be kind to people that come in here in the chat. Even if we start getting some people that don't really know what we're about, just be kind to them, right? Be kind to them, and just we can fill them out. We can tell who's new and who's not, right? Who's here to cause disruptions, and who's here to actually learn or whatever and share insight. And we all learn from one another, right? I get stuff wrong. If you've been here long enough, if I make a mistake, I'm gonna say like, y'all, I screwed up. Hold up, because remember what I had said. That's wrong. I'm quick to repent and tell y'all, yo, I done screwed up. But also I need to figure out how to give thank you, Jamil. Oh yeah. Where is that? Oh, that's Central Time. Okay. I gotta figure out, can you give wrenches to people here in StreamYard? Anybody know that use StreamYard a lot? Like moderators? Can we put moderators up here? Like literally, this is aside from my test yesterday. I don't know. If we can have moderators, I'm gonna throw some people some wrenches. I don't know what they call here in here. But I wonder, do the wrenches carry over from like YouTube? Like if you got a wrench, if I gave you a wrench on YouTube, does it carry over here? I don't know. I'm gonna have to Google it or something. Somebody don't know. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Right. So if anybody come in here, start talking crazy. I mean, we've been having like a good audience, even people that drop in and drop out. And we ain't really had no shenanigans in here in a while, so which is cool. I'm inspired by the Orion Chiefs, no nonsense, right? Freeborn, right? I know, right? We ain't had none of that up in here. Now we'll let you say your piece and stuff. But some of this other hard stuff that, guys are normally and I ain't gonna just say guys, I don't want to sound like that. But some people got a little some people can handle it a little longer and they gonna go toe to toe with you. I don't want to do that here, right? I really want to use all our time for, you know, teaching, talking, questions, getting understanding. Even if I got a question, I be having questions all the time, right? Because there's a whole lot of people here way more spiritual than me. Like I'm the newcomer to the party. Like help me out. Like I be pronouncing words wrong and everything, right? Help a sister out, right? You ain't got to kill me. I'm humble, like says you just screwed that word up. Like literally, give me the pronunciations like the dictionary do. Like it give you the word, then it says it sounds like. Do that for me. Ain't no shame in my game. Lorette, shalom, sis. Okay, so Jamia sent me a picture. Somebody spotted the new moon. It was confirmed. Let me see. Let me pull up my what you call it. So definitely. And remember, y'all, I know different people have different outlooks on when the Sabbath should be. But based on my studying and what I've done, and actually not just reading books and scrolls and stuff, I actually spent time outside, like literally, and tracking it over 3 years now, right? And I started doing it when I really started deeply studying the book of Enoch. Hold on, back a page. Let me back up my Yep, yep, it was confirmed. Yeah, okay. And in quite a few places it was. So remember, here's the key, y'all. Here's the key. When you're celebrating the Sabbath, and some people just want to stick to it on Saturday. Some people gonna stick to it on Friday. Okay, it is what it is. Just like we're still Christians, the Sabbath is Sunday. This is the Lord's day. Whatever, right? You're growing. Excuse me, stop fighting with people about it because I realize everybody has their own path of growth, right? And as you grow and as you understand, you own the information and you put it into practice in your life, right? And just be an example to those around you. And they can choose to pick and choose and eat off the fruit that's barren, that your tree is bearing, right? And they can choose not to, but it is their choice. We have that freedom from Creator, right? So what we've chosen, I say we because my household, um, we chose to follow the Sabbath by the actual clock in the sky, right? And the moon phases actually will, like clockwork, if you study the moon phases, like clockwork, line up with the Sabbath days, right? So even if you get your count off on a month on what day is what, if you understand the phases of the moon and certain phases, you know that's the Sabbath. You can correct your count throughout the month at least 4 times, a month. You can correct your timing, right? And it is not hand in hand with the Gregorian calendar that we're on, right? So just like with the seasons, they have them off. They have the new year beginning in January, to whereas if you're following it according to Creator's calendar, new year begins in the springtime. Life, new everything is happening there. Winter is like the last season of life. Everything dies off. Think about it. You can see the truth of everything and everything around us, even in human beings. There are phases of life. You can look at the phases of our life as seasonal as well, just like the seasons: spring, summer, fall, and winter. Infancy, adolescence, young adulthood, older adulthood, right? Spring, summer, and the summer is like the prime of everybody's life. You're full of fire and energy and everything. And once I say you get 40, you enter into the fall days of your life. You start to mellow out a little bit. It is what it is. Everything is beautiful in the fall, right? It was beautiful in summer, but I ain't got all the energy now. But the fall takes on a different type of sophisticated beauty, right? So I'm about to be 44 in how many days? Next Thursday, literally a week from today, March the 30th, I'm gonna be 44 years old. And then as you get, I ain't got into my winter days yet, but there's some people here that are in the winter days of their life. Not saying that they knocking on death's doors or anything like that, because they can live like well into 100 and stuff. And there are a lot of cases proven nowadays. I know it sounds like far-fetched in the meat-eating days of this realm that people could even pass 120, right? But they're passing that, right? And it's not just one here and one there. They're popping up all over the world. Why? Because they're beginning to align their lives and their bodies up with the laws of life, Mother Earth, the earthly mother or whatever. They're stop defiling their bodies, their temples. They're giving it life-sustaining, life-giving foods, right? What you put in your body will produce. If you eat dead things, your body will die. If you eat living things, your body will revive. Everybody can prove. We can test that, right? That's why people who go plant-based or whatever, high raw fruits and veggies, they tend to reverse the aging clock, right? That's how it happened. It's proven before our faces. If people want to argue, well, our ancestors ate meat and potatoes. Go ahead and eat meat, but it's your choice. Go ahead, my G. See that thing all the way to the end. Where they live to be, you have the choice to do that, right? But test it yourself. Test it and prove all things to be true. If they're true, hold on to what's good. If it doesn't prove true, then you can choose to do away with it or just put it on the shelf to maybe a later time in the road where it might be helpful or useful for you, right? Some people quick to go pull it off when a doctor gives them a diagnosis. Wait a minute, where's my life-sustaining fruits and vegetables? Where's the nearest holistic doctor? Whatever it is, what it is as long as you're getting the truth in you, get it. Kizzy, hey girl, hey. All right, beautiful people. So like I was saying, we're not here when, according to the clock in the sky and the moon phases or whatever, when that Sabbath happens, that's when we observe the Sabbath here and we take that day off, right? And I know a couple of people asked me recently, they must not have heard us talk about this a while. And I got a lot of videos on it. You just got to go find them. Type in like Sabbath or something, moon phases in there, and you will see. But those are the days we rest. And because the moon has been sighted last night, like I originally thought, it skipped Tuesday because this last moon cycle, the Sabbaths hit every Monday. So with this new moon, and that's how you can, if you don't understand it all, whatever day the new moon is spotted on for where you live, right? Some people are celebrating the Sabbath based on Jerusalem's time clock. But if you live here in America and you're following the Sabbath how they follow it, who live in Jerusalem, you've already missed it by a whole day. Like you are wrong all the way around, right? I'm just saying, yeah, you're wrong. But if you're doing it that way, just know Jerusalem is always a day ahead of us over here, right? Because when we spot it, they don't see it yet, So think about times like all of this, you have to take in consideration all those things, which is why even the Bible tell you that where you're at, follow it according to what you observe from your side of the hemisphere, your side of the earth. And if everybody does that, we'll be in tandem, right? Right? At least that's what I found. That's what I've tested and kind of seen. And, you know, so the Sabbath will be Wednesday. I'm putting new moon. Spotted. Sometimes we can't see it because chemtrails, clouds, and so every Wednesday now for the next, and it's always 4. So the next 4 Wednesdays we will not be here. Those will be the Sabbaths. I'm gonna go ahead and write them. I used to do this ahead of time, like calculate, until I realized I forgot to account for the months where it skips. And it's not like Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. There's actually this cycle and calculation that goes on. So every couple months to actually skip a day, which means the transition period from the darkness of the new moon to the first sliver of light hits it. The transition was that longer transition period, right? So I stopped doing that and went back to watching every single day, or every single month rather. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I can do it this way. 4 once we count it, and once we get to the 4th Sabbath, we start watching for the new moon in that same week for the next the next moon cycle. If it is Wednesday, when do we celebrate new month? Like this would literally, this look, okay, because it was spotted last night, right? Last night was the first night of the new moon or new month. Today is the first day. I know some people get that mixed up, but it it's easy to remember when you spot the new moon, right? It's always night when you see her for the new moon. So that would make it the first night. So people kind of get the counts mixed up too. Some count from the new moon sighting, but you have to count from the days of light, right? So the first day of light of the new moon, which would be the very next morning, right? The very next morning would be day one, but it would be day one of the sunlight. But tonight will actually be night two of the new moon because the first night was last night when we spotted her. So there's two different counts that go on simultaneously, but the count according to the Sabbath is according to the working days, which is why you have to count by the sunlight, but you track it by the moon. I know that might sound like, girl, what in the world did you just say? You lost me. So listen, here's the quickest way, the cheat sheet method. Whatever day the new moon is spotted, that's called and is verified, those will be the Sabbaths for the next 4 weeks for that moon cycle. And that's when the month begins on Creator's calendar, although it may be in the middle of the month on a Gregorian calendar. You got to learn how to read the two calendars separately. And the more you do it, that's why I write everything in here just to kind of keep myself on track. They got some apps and everything, but just kind of go through them. You can pick and choose. I like the Moon app, and I also like World's Last Chance Calendar. Yeah, WLC, World's Last Chance Calendar, because that's pretty accurate for the most part. I do have some questions about like the counting of the feast day. Well, no, well, it would be the counting of the feast days because sometimes when the transition day, the skip day, where you actually having to watch, they went through and they just calculated everything like ahead of time, like without taking into account. Maybe they did, but from what I see, that's where I messed up. I was like, I'm gonna just go ahead and do this, but then I realized, wait a minute, nobody spotted it. Oh shoot, my count is off. Like I would be celebrate Sabbath on the wrong day if I did that. So when I noticed they didn't make the changes in the World's Last Calendar app, I'm just like, and I even reached out to them a couple times. They responded, they gave their reasons why. I was like, okay. I'm like, but if we're watching, I just, based on what I had been observing, I was like, you know what, I think I'm gonna just keep watching. Technology is good, but if you the people who input the information in the technology, if they put it in wrong, you can get wrong results. So it's about 99% accurate, except for them longer transition days, from what I've observed from my own personal experience and using it for a while. So yeah, so that's what it'd be, Vinette. I hope to answer your questions. If it is Wednesday, when do we celebrate the new month? Like actual celebration. Like, you know what, my outlook on actually celebrating like the feast and all that stuff. People, I might lose some people here, but based on as I grow, some things I just cannot in good conscience do, especially if it involves sacrificing animals and stuff. And even though we're not actively doing it today here, they are doing it in other places, and people here still believes that it's okay. And it's absolutely not okay to slaughter any kind of animal to feed your belly, right? All right, so with that being said, beautiful people, that's it for today. We got to roll out of here. That was quick, Jamil. Look, and I was wrapping it up. Because that's how you say, got me in. When Jamil rolling out, I'm like, girl, you need to shut it down. Jamil rolling out on you. I'm here too long. Look, but then you came back and said meeting was canceled. No, but we said we got to go. I got work and stuff I got to do. Ray, hey girl, hey. All right, y'all, that's it for today. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Like, feel free. If I miss question, I'm not like ignoring you on purpose, but when I look up ever so often, I'll see it, and if you've been here for a while, But if I like scroll past your stuff and like read the one above or the one below, I probably was not paying attention. So don't think I did it on purpose. Just ask the question again, like seriously. Um, but other than that, what chapters did we read today? We started in chapter 1. We just got to verse 13 because of all of the footnotes that were included. So we didn't get through all of chapter 1 today. So just the first little portion of it. But y'all can catch it on the backup channel, the replay. So I got the backup, my backup channel link. Let me see. At noon, it'll replay. For now, it'll replay. Close this. Let me give y'all the link. If y'all not a part of the group, I know some people, well, I don't have Facebook and I ain't getting on it. Well, if you don't catch the replay and you miss it, you won't be able to see it due to copyright laws. Well, we get to do it here on live, but take it private because of the Fair Use Copyright Law Act. So we want to keep in okay, backup channel. We want to make sure we're obeying the laws of the land, right? Because I could be all, yeah, we're going to do this and for the Lord, and not and like, no, because we're going to defeat our purpose, right? We just got to be smart about some stuff. All right. Okay. So is that clickable? It don't look clickable to me. Okay. So there you go. Is it? I don't think. Hold on. Yeah, celebrating the new moon. I know it was two different things. Thanks, Avia. She said I don't think she was talking about the feast days of sacrifice, but celebrating the new moon days. Yeah, I blurred that together. I'm sorry. Yeah, you. I mean, you do whatever you want to do. You can celebrate the new moon. Um, I don't have a problem with it. Even if you choose to celebrate the feast days and remove the whatever, do what you want to do, right? But think about it. Like seriously, don't practice what is wrong for the sake of keeping a tradition, right? It's just like communion. Going through the Essenes Gospel of Peace, we learn about what true communion is, to whereas churches teach a different type of communion. And they teach you that it's a representation of drinking blood and eating flesh of your teacher. I'm just like, but then they spiritualize, right? And I get that. I get the logic in that, right? And that sounds okay, but why would I teach something coming from a perspective from something that's forbidden, right? That's going to pervert my message down the line somewhere, all right? That's like, I don't want to be too graphic. But I'm just saying, like, if I'm not eating flesh and blood, why am I act like it? Why am I going to rehearse it? Why are we going to do it for play? Isn't there something else that some other mode of light that we can use to teach principles that are of a higher order, of a higher nature, right? Even what OWASP teaches, right? OWASP teaches you, it explains to you when teaching children, if you have to teach them about negative aspects of life and what you do, right? And so it's in the book of Shalom, right? I believe it's in the book of Shalom in OWASP, which is another word for shalom, peace, or whatever. If you read through it, you'll understand by reading through the footnotes and all of that. If you have to teach children, or when you do have to teach them how they did it in Shalom. So say if they have to teach about the effects of alcoholism or drug use and stuff like that, right? So what they would do, and you kind of see this in cartoons and stuff in some movies, and you see me going back and forth about the good angel and the bad angel on your shoulder, right? Instead of letting them, some movies will actually show that the war going on in between you, hearing the voice of good and hearing the voice of evil. But it said while teaching children, you have to always make it clear, like they have to actually, because they're children and the stage of their understanding, they have to see representations. That's how idols got started, right? But they forgot why the idols were created. Idols at first were good because they were nothing more than mechanisms to teach spiritual principles in a physical representation. But down the line, it got chopped and screwed, and they began to worship the idols instead of learning the message that they was trying to teach them spiritually from the idols, right? Okay, so say if you need to teach a child about the effects of drug use and stuff, right? And so they had it in there, they put it on the plate, right? And there's, forgive me for the terms that I use. You got a crack addict, you know, a crack addict, and they dealing with all this and they stealing and everything. What they show them is they actually manifest the spiritual realm so the children can see, right? So they'll put a good angel and they'll put a demon or a bad angel right there. And as the person is making choices and contemplating, not that they're looking at the good angel or looking at the bad angel, they're supposed to be invisible. So in the play, everybody can see them, but it's the outward, it's the let me say this right. It it's their insides manifested outward, so to speak. I don't know, I probably screwed that up. But if they're saying, go ahead, take another hit, you will see the bad angel. This is the bad information coming from the bad gods, bad lords. Go ahead, take another hit, G. Go ahead. And you sitting there like, and you struggling. And every time you go through this struggle, there's more influence from the dark side that's there. And a lot of time people don't realize how they're being spiritually influenced by unseen forces. So when you teach children this, and they'll grow up realizing and understanding about the war that's going to go on the inside of them, right? And you have to always shun the darkness. The more you say no to the darkness, the stronger the light gets. You can do this. You don't have to do this. The angel, you stronger than this. You know what? We'll take it a day at a time. Just wait 5 minutes, just 5 more minutes. Don't snort for like 5 minutes, like literally. Okay, just get up, walk outside, call somebody, go call your mom, go call your sister, go pick up your child, go take them to the park. Like it's the good stuff. And they struggling like, oh my God, what am I doing? Oh, I can't believe I was about to do it again. Like seriously, you have to teach them this so when they start actually going through things, they can actually visualize and understand about the war that's going on inside of them, and it'll actually help them. It'll actually strengthen them, and it'll be a source that they can pull from and gain strength as they develop in life, right? A lot of times people they give it, oh, you got bipolar. I'm like, oh my gosh, we didn't put all these medical terms and these sweet terms on stuff, and people don't know that it's literally a war going on the inside of you and around you, and it's affecting you. And because you haven't been trained spiritually along the way, you've just been taught to clothe and feed and take care of the physical man, but your spiritual man has been left at infancy laying on the ground somewhere in the dirt, and that's where you're at. And you're out of balance. Your spirit is all the way down here while your flesh is being exalted, which is why a lot of times we cannot overcome all of the fleshly desires. Those things that I don't want to do, I find myself doing. And those things that I want to do, I can't seem to find the strength to do it, right? Because we're out of balance. And so that's how we have to teach our children about the war that goes on the inside of us. And Owaspi is a beautiful, beautiful book. You have to get it if you don't have it. And I say, people ask me now, well, what religious book? Read all of them. I know some people are like, oh no, that's what we for. We help you kind of go through stuff and you can see the beauty in everything. Take what you can use at your current level, apply it to your life, right? Because it's truth found. Well, we found that there's truth, higher truth found in a lot of different places. Some may only have a little bit, right? But it's there. And if you're a diligent student and you go looking, what you're looking for will eventually find you, right? So that's what we're doing here, right? We ain't holding one book higher over the other. We put everything on the table because we sick of the shenanigans, and we literally want to grow. Like we're tired of being stunted. We tired of being full of flesh and void of spirit, right? So we're trying to balance things out. So I say read it in tandem. If you're still reading your Bible, I would definitely recommend, even if you think it's a bit much and you don't even want to watch my videos and watch my shenanigans, get the Sing Gospel of Peace, right? Because even that will expound on principles that the Council of Nicaea has chopped up and screwed and scrubbed women out of scrubbed the feminine principles all out of it, which is why the Hebrew camps is all out of balance, is male dominant. They doing the same thing the Christians do. you know, and the Christian didn't scrub all the women away. I mean, they keep them, right? But the Hebrew, well, I ain't gonna say, I'm gonna say allegedly. I'm gonna start using the word allegedly. I don't want to get in trouble, right? But y'all get it. But from personal experience, and like it's not allegedly, like, bro, this is what they do. They all out of balance. Like they like James Evans said, Florida, kitchen and a bedroom. And that's how they treat women. And that is so out of balance with the laws of life and the creator. That is not how it's supposed to be. All right. All right. So that's it. We're about to get out of here, y'all. Is it StreamYard that's allowing the comments to be shown? Right. I don't know what you mean. StreamYard allows all the comments from everywhere. The Dogon elders, Botswana, they helped to put the pieces together. That's good. Yeah. A lot of the stuff. Look, until the elders finish doing their English translation, this is the closest thing we got, right? Um, this is the closest thing we got, right? At least that I've come across. You know, a combination of all of it, but some of this other stuff, this is one of the closest things we have right now. Even though it's new, it's still it's good. It's the elder said it's a good translation of it. Although everything the way they translated in here is not necessarily how they would have translated. You know, they're the keepers of the scrolls there in Kenya of certain type of scrolls. But now that they've done this, they want to do some corrections and make sure that the interpretation of this text is fully spot on. And if you ever watch Ambassador Michael, St. Michael's channel, he may not be everybody's cup of tea, you know, but he the truth. He has been installed by the elders in Kenya as a prince. So a lot of this information he has, and he'll also read from this as well if you're in his private group or ever going to his page or YouTube page, and he has a whole lot more insight than I do at this point, you know, in regards to this. So I watch a lot of his stuff. Like I said, he may not be everybody's cup of tea. I have a good diverse group of people here. He has more I ain't gonna say that. But people go to his channel and tend to think that it's just for Black people. And although he doesn't necessarily say that, he does lean more to. Forgive me if I'm screwing this up, and if you're watching me, he's more about helping his people and raising them up out of the slums and stuff, like really motivating his people, which I do too. But I try to, not that I'm watering down stuff, but I realize, at least since I've gone through a WASPy, my outlook on races of people has really changed. It really has changed. And some of my biases I had to do away with. So I stopped using, even though here in my background sometimes you may hear a family member say nigga, you know, please don't take offense to it, because you know we still growing, and sometimes we just use the language that our people use, right? So please don't take offense to it. But I try not to use any kind of terms that are degrading to anybody. You're not going to see me be like the white man this, and you know, even though we may mention it because I'm giving an example about something, but you know, I like to interact with all races of people, you know, but it should be good for everybody, and that's the stance that I have on it. So yeah, if you didn't know. So not that I'm trying to lean more to one side or whatever. I'm just trying to really be a good human being to all people, because I know what it feels like to be discriminated against. And just because it's more of my people here, I don't want to discriminate against somebody who's not like us or don't come where we come from, right? Because we can all share in our experiences and we can sharpen one another, no matter where we come from, what color, belief system, whatever, right? What's his name again? Freeborn, you ironic? Okay. Hold on. I'm gonna just share his channel with y'all. I'm gonna share his YouTube channel. Oh, there you go. Ambassador Prince Michael. Make sure y'all get the right channel. Okay. Yeah. Auntie, hey. Okay, there you go. I posted it to everywhere. This is his his YouTube channel, y'all. Ambassador Prince Michael. And he's on Facebook too. You can find him under the same name. Matter of fact, I just posted. No, I'll post it for y'all. If y'all gotta go on, get out of here. Hold on. I'm gonna make sure y'all got all this stuff so y'all can like do y'all homework and all whatever you want to do. Okay. And bring all the good stuff back here and share it with us. Here we go. Okay. There you go. So check him out and learn from the stuff, right? Learn from the stuff. He's really good. You know, he's a really intelligent brother. He has a lot of connections um with a lot of different elders. I just say elders across the continent um, of of Africa and in different places, different connections that he has here too with some of the hidden figures, we'll call them. All right, beautiful people, that is it. You know what? Oh, darn it. We didn't start today with the word of admiration. Like I completely, how did I forget that? Because I didn't write it down. I didn't write it down. Okay. So we're gonna do two. We're gonna do two. If y'all got some words of praises or adoration for our great creator, throw them out there and I say them. Okay. Let's just say, Father, we thank you for the secret Nazarite scroll. First of all, that's one. I should have said that at the beginning, right? Um, Second, we thank you for I said that one before. Um, we thank you for the nope, I think I just did that one too. I'm trying to do new ones every single day. Um, Thank you for footnotes to get a deeper understanding and revelation. Thank you. Yes, I like that, Tekla. Thank you for a child's understanding, right? And a child's understanding is powerful in a way because it's like okay, so you got a child's understanding that's ignorant, but then you have a child's understanding that's innocent. We want that innocent, childlike understanding. Like, and I'll give you an example. You ever see children before they're tainted by adults and their biases about color and races of people? Children of all different colors, they do not even see color, right? And you will see them, and it's the most beautiful thing. And somebody shared a meme recently about two little girls, right? It was a white girl and a black girl, and they weren't related or anything, but anyway, they was in a store, and one of the little girls, I think it was a little white girl, she said, "Mom, I have a twin," and the mom was like, "What?" And but what she saw as twin was another little girl, which happened to be a little black girl, but they were dressed alike. They literally had on like the same. Uh, I want to say, was it Moana? They had on like the same shirt and like the same tutu skirt thing, you know. And so they saw that as like, that's my twin, like, and kids like they hug one another. I'm just like, oh, that we could be like that in our days of growth, right? In our days of growth, oh, that we could be that. If we could have that childlike innocence and understanding, this world would be such a better place, right? And it's gonna get better. Why? Because we make it better, right? Babylon is only going to be destroyed through the children of light getting rid of the darkness. The brighter we shine, throwing light on all the darkness. That's how Babylon is destroyed. And in destroying Babylon, we rescue people. We have a not a consuming fire, but it's a controlled fire that saves all those who come in contact with the light that we throw out. That's how Babylon is truly destroyed. That's the true understand of the destruction of Babylon, right? To whereas most of Christianity and even our Hebrew brethren and sisters, they waiting for something to happen like Sodom and Gomorrah to get these heathens up out of here. Well, aren't part of you your brothers and your sisters, if they're destroyed, you're going to be destroyed too. People just waiting. All right, Father, you need to go and send Jesus. Drop the bomb on America. Rescue us first, but then drop the bomb on them, right? I'm just like, we completely have missed the mark on what destroying Babylon really is. It's us. It's us. We, the children of light, destroy the darkness of Babylon to where it literally looks like heaven on earth. Like we literally reshape it, remold it through truth, light, and life of the Creator manifested in us as we live it on a daily basis. Shine bright because it helps to free our brothers and sisters so that they can be free to shine bright as well. I love y'all. I'll see y'all back here tomorrow morning, 6:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And for people who's watching from the backup channel at noon, hopefully I might be present. I'm gonna have to schedule it. Hopefully I'll be present. So if there's comments and stuff there, I'll be able to engage with you. If not, don't feel bad like I didn't abandon you, but I'll be working and sometimes I can't break free. But anyway, I love y'all. I see y'all back here in the morning. Peace.